welcome to the webinar. Today we're going to be joined by Pranab and Tiju from Synergy Marine Group, and they have a very interesting use case because they actually don't come from a data science background, but they actually have a background in sailing. So they'll share their interesting use cases with you guys. But before that, I would like to go over a couple of housekeeping items. First, use the live chat. Here you can drop us a note about where you're joining us from. But if you have any questions at the end of the presentation, we will be posing those questions to Pranab and Tiju. So any questions you have for the speakers, either about their use cases specifically or about anything to do with Knime, you can ask in that Q&A tab. Now, we recommend using Chrome or Firefox for the best browsing experience, but if something goes wrong, try refreshing your browser, try using a cabled internet connection if that's available to you, check your cookies, try private browser mode, and if at any time you get lost, you can always go back to your email and click on go back to the link in your email and click on Stage once you get back to the homepage. So before diving into the presentation, the introduction to Knime, I'd love to welcome up our two speakers for today. Hi, Pranab. Hi, Tiju.
Hi, Sasha.
Hi, Sasha.
How are you guys doing?
Sasha. Yeah, good.
Good. Where are you guys joining us from?
We are joining from Chennai, India.
Nice. And I'm actually over in Switzerland, and we'll have Hanan join us from the Knime side as well, who's in Berlin. So we'll have a full global team today.
That's great.
Cool. So I will say goodbye to you guys just for a few minutes while I do a short introduction, and then I'll welcome you back up on stage in a few minutes.
Sure.
Okay, see you soon. Okay, so for the agenda today, we'll be starting with a short intro to Knime. This is just to give folks on the call a sense for what Knime is. Typically, we see about 50% of our viewers completely new to Knime. I'll keep that short and sweet because I know we want to get to Pranab and Tiju's presentation. And after they give their presentation, we'll do a Q&A with them and with another member from my team, Hanan. So we like to give this presentation for anyone that's new, but for all of you who are familiar with Knime, take a look, and maybe this will give you some ideas for how to talk about Knime within your organization. If you have a license, maybe you can get more value out of that license, or maybe you'll just learn about more of the kind of free resources and free products that we have that you can also take advantage of. So recently, McKinsey came out with this prediction that by 2025, smart workflows and seamless interactions among humans and machines will be as standard as the corporate balance sheet. And they meant this particularly in the context of the future of data and the future of data at work. So they tell us that most employees will use data to optimize nearly every aspect of their work. I think a lot of people, when they read this, kind of raise a skeptical eyebrow because they know that we're quite far away, or many companies are quite far away from this point. So today's presentation, I'd like to share how Knime envisions getting employees from the point where they're either doing some silo data analysis or they're doing ad hoc analysis for different groups and get to a point of a truly kind of data-driven organization. And afterwards, Pranab and Tiju are going to give a kind of real-life use case of how that can happen. So what we see at most enterprises is that businesses take two routes to trying to kind of digitally transform or trying to make data-driven decisioning pervasive in their organization. The first route is they build these analytic centers of excellence. and they hire these data scientists. Now, these data science groups, they basically service other business units throughout the organization, and they build analysis for these different business units. The other route that they take, and sometimes businesses take both routes, the other route that they take is upskilling business experts. So that's business or domain experts in the case of technical fields. So they take the people that sit in different business units and they teach them how to do advanced analysis in Excel or BI tools or something like this. But what most organizations find is that both approaches currently hit a wall. So data experts usually have many requests and cannot address all of those requests. Of course, there's always going to be more data problems than there are data solutions. But having just a small unit trying to solve all of those data problems becomes impossible. And from the business expert side, people hit a wall because there's only so much you can do in spreadsheets and BI tools self-sufficiently. So as soon as these people need to do things with larger data sets, or maybe they need to use different kinds of data types, or maybe they just want to explore more advanced analysis, these tools are really limiting for them currently. So what Knime software does is it gives both of these, it unites these two groups and treats them as one. So it treats them as one data worker. And the platform supports any kind of data worker, no matter how advanced of a user they are or how beginner of a user they are. And it unblocks any kind of data worker from either operationalizing and productionizing their data science, or from just getting started and using the tool and starting to do analysis, more advanced analysis from what you could do in Excel or BI. So the first and sort of most important way that Knime does this is through this no-code, low-code platform. So ultimately, any data worker is doing the same process. They're getting data out of places, they're blending and transforming it, they're modeling and visualizing it, and then they're deploying it somewhere. So they're either making it available as a report, they're making it available as an app, or maybe they're doing something more sophisticated like making it available as an API. But this single interface means that it's this single interface acts as a lingua franca between the two groups. So if you're coming from the business or domain side, you can use this drag and drop interface to start doing more advanced things than what you could do in Excel or BI. And if you're in a data group or you're a data expert, you can use this low code, no code framework to work with people outside of your discipline. So you can work within your team across expertises or between teams, so between business and domain units and your own units. Advanced users also are able to leverage any kind of advanced methods. They're able to access all their AI and ML libraries. They're able to even drop in Python scripts that can then be reused by other people in the organization. And they can execute wherever they want. So this no-code, low-code platform is a great sort of getting started tool for anyone that's trying to upskill. It's also a great collaboration tool between experts and non-experts, or experts in one domain and experts in another domain. But that really only paints the picture on an individual level. How do we get an entire organization to start benefiting from this kind of like no-code, low-code approach to data science? This is where our commercial product comes in, Knime Business Hub. So if you imagine an organization that has a couple data scientists on it, let's say this is Sarah's team. The first thing that Knime Business Hub allows for them to do is to operationalize their analysis and make it available to third-party users. So they're able to make their analysis available as APIs, as data apps, or even as scheduled reports that anyone in the organization can then benefit from. But in addition to being able to operationalize their data science, they're also able to take their workflows that they use to do this analysis and share it with other people so that they can then reuse and learn from that analysis. And the result is that there's more than just 3 people, or there's more than just this core group that is able to do analysis for the organization. And the more people that can perform this analysis, the more end users, so these light yellow dots, the more end users can benefit from this analysis. So Knime Business Hub allows the kind of core data group to collaborate within their organization, within their team, but they also allow this core group to share their work with others in the organization to reuse and multiply their efforts, creating this ripple effect. And then more and more people start to create analysis for, more and more people create insights for people across the organization. And of course, ideally, you don't want just one group doing this, you want lots of groups doing this. So you want these data communities to be able to pop up across the enterprise. So what Knime Business Hub allows is for using just a single install to have lots and lots of teams start to collaborate and share their data science solutions so that other people can upskill and then create this ripple effect where more and more people benefit from the insights that they're producing. Now, because Knime Analytics Platform is free and open source, that means the first step into analytics has no cost associated with it. So people throughout your organization can start using Knime Analytics Platform for free right now today, and become familiar with the no-code, low-code approach before starting to collaborate and share their solutions and deploy their solutions throughout the enterprise. And all of these things together ensure that the speed at which you spread kind of like the ability to make sense of data is higher than anyone else, any other vendor on the market. So how Knime scales data science impact, we make sure that through the no-code, low-code interface, it's really easy to get started, even if you have absolutely no data science experience, or even if you've only worked in spreadsheets in the past. In addition to that, you can get started quickly by leveraging a library of pre-built or community-built solutions. You can choose to have that library within your organization where only people internally share solutions, or you can leverage Knime's open source library of solutions available on Knime Community Hub. The ease of collaboration, so collaborating between disciplines. The no-code, low-code environment allows you to, whether you're a scripter, a machine learning engineer, or you're a marketer, you can work between disciplines because it's intuitive for anybody to see and understand what you're doing, and you're able to share and reuse that expertise in a centralized place. Ease of deployment, so making sure that the data experts or the people that are ready to do an analysis, they can then share with the entire organization. We make sure it's easy to deploy that analysis as data apps or APIs or even reports to end users. And ultimately, Knime Business Hub is built for scale. So it's cloud native. It can support any number of users, any number of workflows, and can be deployed to any number of end users. The Knime community, both Knimers on my team and the greater Knime open source community, has produced a ton of resources that people can use to just get started. So we have 300K strong community of Knime experts. You can interact, you can ask questions on the forum, you can browse their solutions on hub.knime.com. We make self-paced courses and in-class learning available. And you can do that at on your own time, or talk to a Knime expert or a Knime data scientist and learn from them. We have books, cheat sheets, sample workflows to get started. We have all these pre-built nodes and components so you can get started quickly. And of course, we have user groups where people can learn from like users, so people in their industries or people that are geographically close to them. So without taking up too much more time, I would like to welcome back up our guests for today, Pranab, Rohatgi, and Tiju Chandy from Synergy
Again.
Marine Group.
Hey, Sasha.
Hey. So I'm really excited for your presentation, and I'm going to hand it over to you now.
Same here.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks, Sasha and the Knime team. Good day, everyone. Myself, Tiju Chandy, and I am here with my friend and colleague present, Pranab Rohatgi. Both of us are marine chief engineers with 15 years of sailing experience. Presently, we are working as technical superintendent at Synergy Maritime, and we are leading the digital transformation journey within our organization. In this session, we'll be discussing how our data science team has managed to process data from various sources and scaled up to 50 plus data-driven solutions by adopting Knime as our ETL and data science platform. We'll be also discussing here 2 use cases which we successfully deployed in our organization. Before that, let me start by giving a brief introduction to our company, that is Synergy Maritime. Synergy Group is a leading global provider for ship management services. With diverse portfolio, Synergy Group provides end-to-end maritime solutions. Synergy was founded in 2006 and has grown by leaps and bounds in last decade to become the 4th largest ship management company and a technology leader. Presently, our group of companies is managing more than 500 ships. We employ 20,000 plus seafarers and 1,600 shore staff across 25 offices around the world. As you can see here, Synergy provides a wide range of services in maritime space, including technical management, crew management, new building, dry dock, etc. These are our clients for charterers. As you can see, we have a presence across the globe. So as I said earlier, as we grew as a company, our data also grew. And about 1.5 years ago, we were looking for a low-code or a no-code platform which can help us turbocharge our data analysis and data science capabilities. Mr. Pranab will discuss more about our team's transformative and amazing journey in 1.5 years with Knime. Pranab, over to you.
Thanks, Tiju. Shipping is a traditional and conservative industry, and as our CEO says, it is time for aggressive digitalization for shipping as well. Along with the growth of the synergy, data collected from multitude of places has also grown, so has the workforce. Somewhere down the line, we realized that we should make data work for us in everyday assistance and decision making for our workforce to be more competitive, efficient, and productive, which will enable us to serve our clients better and at the same time contribute to the marine environment as well. So starting, we were focusing on the problem which we were facing. So there is no doubt that digitalization provides greater access to operational market and environmental intelligence in the shipping industry. The challenge was to how to collate, access, and share data. We envisioned our digitalization journey with 3 broad objectives. First, process automation, reducing man hours and eliminating human error. Second, machine learning to extract insights from the data, which will help us achieve the prior stated objectives. And third, making a dynamic knowledge management system for the in-house manuals as well as the international maritime regulations as well. A lack of common approach in skilling people and lack of standardizations are the main barriers with respect to the future of shipping digitalization. So as Tiju said, that we were looking for some platform which can help us. But before that, we had a decision to make. We had 2 options at that time. Either we take third-party services and act as a domain expert and solve our problems by using third-party services data science expertise, or as Sasha says, second approach is Domain experts themselves are unable to analyze data and extract insights. We decided to act on letter, and as being from non-IT background, we were looking for a no or low code platform which can convert our weakness into strength. We started off with one of the leading low code analytics platform and explored for a brief amount of time and realized that it is not scalable as we have use cases as diverse as possible and user based license is not going to work out for us. After that, we fortunately stumbled upon Knime. Initially, we tried to learn with resources available online, but it really took off after we had a 2 months hand-holding POC with Knime, during which we were given access to Knime server and many troubleshooting exercises used to happen within that POC time. Since then, we were able to train and scale our 9 data engineers from 1 to 12 within a short period of time, and all of them from marine domain. That is the main point to be noted, as Tiju said, that we are sailors at heart, not a conventional IT background or data scientists, but NIME enabled us to achieve a lot more. The lack of standardized data and consequent incompatibility of data is an issue first, mostly among the data fraternity. We have created multiple workforces to serve our varied use cases, from budget to inspections and technical operations to people management. First use case we are going to discuss here today is real-time class survey status using Knime. So it's all over to you, Tiju.
Thanks, Pranab. That was a nice presentation. Now we will be looking at one case study, class or classification societies. So let me brief about what is classification societies or simply class and their importance in ship management. Classification societies are non-governmental organizations and they are recognized by the governments. And they establishes and maintains technical standards for the construction and operation of the vessels, and also for offshore structures. Classification societies certify that the construction of the vessel comply with the relevant standards and carry out regular surveys to ensure continuing compliance with the standards. Every ship will be registered with a class. So class hold every information about the status of the vessel. So here, if you can look, I have listed few of most common classification societies like ABS, that is American Bureau of Shipping, BB Bureau Veritas, Lloyd's Register, etc. So to get this info from the classification societies, ship managers have to download the class status file for each vessel in a regular basis. And this document is around 30 to 40 pages for each ship. They have to read through it and find upcoming surveys and certification requirements and act on it. Apart from that, at least twice a month, they have to create a report and send it out to the relevant parties, like to the ship itself, to the owners, survey department, etc. As represented here, conventionally, vessel managers visit the site, download the PDF, read through the information, and they compile mail for each vessel, and then they send them out to the concerned parties. Here we have a problem. The problem was it takes around 20 minutes to download and process a file for each vessel. And we are talking about 500 vessels. So 20 minutes per ship, 2 times a month is 330 man-hours a month. It's a tedious task, taking a lot of manpower. Apart from that, when they are looking through the big documents, human error can come in, and there is a delay in generating reports as well. So we replace the manual labor here with Knime. And from these classification societies, most of them gave us API access, otherwise from the web or parsing the PDF. The Knime was able to extract the data, and stored it. We stored it in the MongoDB, and then the files were stored in SharePoint, and we created a dashboard which was giving instant access to the data for each and every party who is concerned, and the mails were generated automatically and sent to the relevant parties twice in a month. Just to have a glimpse of what we have done, here is a sample flow where data is extracted from a class RESTful API. If you can see the top part, it is connecting with the RESTful API and getting the information. And the bottom part is where the data is transformed for the ETL part, and it is sent to database, and the files are stored in SharePoint. Let's discuss what we gained from this. We gained about 330 man hours per month. Each month, we save around 330 man hours. And main thing is human errors is eliminated and easy access to the information. The dashboard was created and hosted in Knime server, which is accessible to everybody, and a very new or nearly real-time data was available to everybody to access at any time. That's all from this case study. Thanks, everybody. And I invite Pranab to discuss about our use case about Scrubber. So, Pranab.
Thank you, Tiju. So second use case we built up capitalizing Knime data analytic prowess is Scrubber compliance check. So Scrubber simply is a machine which is installed on ships, which is used to clean exhaust gases, just like the exhaust coming out of our car. So the ship has very big main engines, and the amount of exhaust which is coming out is also huge. So, as per the stringent IMO regulations, which are becoming stringent day by day and year by year, so a scrubber simply is a machine which is used to clean exhaust gases of sulfur oxides. And the main thing which we monitor about these scrubber machine are main four parameters which are monitored with the help of some sensors. These main parameters are gas ratio, alkalinity, turbidity, and polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons. So, as per the International Maritime Organization regulations, if any one out of the four sensor fails or malfunctions, the scrubber can be used provided that all other key parameters can confirm that failed sensor value would have been with limits if it was working correctly. So, if we can predict the value supported by the other parameters, we can run the scrubber, and if not, we cannot. Main problem which we were facing was the data which we are receiving, because the data is sent to us by the data logger on a monthly basis, sometimes on a weekly basis. It depends, it varies upon by the manufacturer as well, by vessel to vessel. So the data can come in the form of PDF or XPS and CSV, and the frequency of data is very high, approximately every 1.5 to 4 minutes, with close to 100 data points. Previous procedure was that we were receiving this complete info as an attachment in a mail. So someone needs to manually download these files, go through them, which is humanly very difficult considering the size of the data. And any performance comparison or the scrubber compliance was out of picture because, as I said, the data set is very huge. With Knime, we were able to solve this problem many folds. First, Knime was able to solve this problem by automatically reading the mails and transferring the files to SharePoint or S3 bucket, eliminating human involvement in this part of the process. And then parsing all format files, as I mentioned earlier, PDF, XPS, CSV, and storing the raw data in our database. Currently, we are using MongoDB for that purpose. Raw data is then read again from our database, and we train our models for all major four parameters considering all correlational and supporting data points. And then the incoming data is then analyzed, and if any sensor is failed, its value is predicted with the model, and it predicts if it is safe to run the equipment or not. Automatic mails are also sent to the respective person in charge, and data is also shown visually through Knime Tableau integrations, which we are currently using. So, what problems we solve with this? First is by avoiding the changeover to a lighter grade of fuel in case of a sense of failure, we saved hugely on cost, because as the current market for the bunkers of ship, heavy oil and lighter grade oil, the difference is around 500 to 600 USD per tons. And depending upon the daily consumption and the size of the vessel, this difference results in a huge margin of saving in case the scrubber sensor fails and we are not able to prove that the scrubber is still compliant. Second advantage is that as the data was very high, huge in size, we were not able to properly analyze before. And now we can also monitor, first of all, the performance of the scrubber, so how it is deteriorating or how it is trending over a period of time. And secondly, with the time series forecasting, we are also able to prove to the authorities that we are running the equipment at all times within the regulation limits, and it can be proven anytime to the authorities. So various tools which we were using during this journey with Knime, obviously Knime Analytics platform and Knime server, but there are various third-party extensions also available which we have used extensively. It's like Selenium nodes, Paladin nodes, and community extensions are also there like Tika Parser, and integrations like SharePoint integration, Tableau integration, and all we have used extensively. And with the help of all these, we have developed almost more than 50 applications till now. These were the two use cases which we wanted to discuss with you today. Uh, Thank you. Thank you for listening to us. Any questions we can take on?
Thanks, guys. That was a great presentation. I love the two use cases because it starts with sort of like a basic automation thing, and it just shows that as soon as you start getting into this data work, you can go more and more advanced and uncover more and more opportunities. So as questions start coming in, I'll kick off with my own. But first, I want to welcome up Hanan from our team. He will be joining me today to answer some Knime questions. So if anyone has specific questions about Knime that aren't specific to this use case, Hanan will be helping me. Hey, Hanan.
Hi, Hanan.
Hey, Hanan.
Please feel free to ask your questions.
Okay, so I think from my end, there's a lot of people in the audience who I think it's very relatable to them that they'll be starting with some kind of automation use case. Can you give some advice about how do people spot the first use case, like the first thing that they could do with like a tool like Knime? Maybe
we started off.
Yeah.
I will take up that question. So as Tiju was discussing about the class. So first of all is like the most mechanical process with what a human can do. What we realized over time is what Knime can automate that part. So one thing which is most clerical can be automated very fast with Knime. And as various integrations are there, like we can pull in data through RESTful APIs, we can pull in data through web scraping, as well as through other integrations like directly downloading the PDF files and all. So the most like in our use case for class, so that is how we can go about it.
Got it. And we have a question that came in that says, do you have any examples associated with navigation risks or about collisions between ships or about collisions between ships?
I would say we have not delved into that till now because we are trying to solve the problem of ship and shore rather than between ship and ship right now. So maybe in future, not at present.
Yeah. Definitely, where one of our team, few of our team members are working on voyage optimization and voyage performance analysis. This
Yeah.
should be next step forward, definitely.
Yeah.
Got it. So I guess we do have some people in your industry in the audience here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Seems
nice.
like.
Someone else asked, how do you manage documentation of workflows for when somebody leaves the team?
Ah, yeah, I'll take this. See, Knime workflows can be annotated. So annotation is a great tool, and even each nodes can be commented. I really don't know the technical term for that, but you can name it what functionality does. And apart from that, we do documentation in normal document way only, like how the workflow works and what are the settings and all. That is in internal communication and recording. We use that, but due to that, by using annotations very nicely, we can. I think 80% of the explanation about how the flow works can be achieved.
Great.
Hanan, anything about that from your side?
Yeah, and you can also use nodes like rule engines, and you can define some rules to keep track of your data, so that it can be marked when someone leaves the team.
Great. Another question about your specific scrubber use case. Somebody asked, this must have required near to real-time data refresh. How did you handle that?
Okay. So for that, some of the machinery, some of the vessels, we are getting real-time data, but for some, we are requesting that over the mail for every 1 hour, and then on the basis of that, we are sending back the report to them that as per the model what we have trained and what is predicting, it is fine in the case of a single sensor failure, and you can keep on running. So for now, all the vessels which report live data, we are sending them through that, and some are still running on like an hourly mail basis.
Got it. Now, Hanan, you might want to close your ears for this one. Somebody asked, how supportive was the Knime team?
Yeah, I'll take this. Actually,
Yeah.
Pranab has already discussed in his presentation about that. We started we stumbled upon Knime and we tried something, and there were some YouTube videos in the beginning. So a few of us were trying out few things. But then we actually took a couple of online courses also. But then meanwhile, we tried to contact the Knime team, and when Knime team contacted us back, and then we got POC for 1 month, right, Pranab?
2 months we
Uh,
did.
2 months, yeah, 2 months of POC,
Yeah.
and uh, then we had a very great hand holding from them. Hanan was also part of that. Ahmed was there. So with that, our confidence really grew, and we decided to take up Knime and Knime servers as our main tools. So it was good work from Knime. Pranab, anything to add?
Yeah, nothing. It's you have said it perfectly. So Nime support was absolutely perfect, and we were able to incorporate whatever we have done till now is possible due to their support. Yeah, definitely.
Nice. I promise I didn't plant that question. uh, Another question is your Knime server owned and supported by you or IT?
It is owned and supported by us.
Okay. Do you
So
guys work with IT at all within your organization, or are you able to do the whole thing on your own?
No, we
so
have
basically
somebody
we
to help us in DevOps.
so
Yes.
in our own team we have a DevOps member, and with the help of him, we are managing everything.
Okay. Somebody asked, what is your experience with big data and Knime performance?
Okay. So I would say we have not much dwelled deeper into it till now, but we have plans for it. because till now we were trying to solve our main problems related to like Scrabble compliance and process automations and machinery, but it is in our cards, I would say.
Got it. So we have a follow-up question about the scrubber use case, about the data refresh question. And this is actually a question for Hanan, I think. How frequently is it possible to get data refresh or schedule a job on Knime Business Hub / Knime server?
So as far as scheduling is concerned, it's up to you. The granularity can be days, weeks, hours, or even minutes. As far as the request against the server is concerned, how many requests can you send against the server? It is, I think, I'm not exactly sure, but around between 100 and 200 per second. But if you have Knime Edge, you are able to scale that up dramatically. And yeah, so I hope that answers the question.
Great, thank you. Anything you guys want to add, Pranab or Tiju, to that?
Yeah, so as Anand said, many workflows like the Scrubber one, which we run on an hourly basis. So scheduling is possible from minutes to weeks to. It is very flexible, I would say, and we are using it extensively that way.
Great. Just a couple questions left. One is how much time was spent learning Knime before the team could complete their first projects?
Did you?
We are still learning, but yeah. Yeah, it's a not ending story, but I think within a couple of months, Pranab, we were confident in delivering.
Yeah, I would say within 3 to 4 months, we were able to make something of some relevance, or we could take it to some production level. But I would say Knime is a very big tool, and many possibilities are there. And during this last 1.5 year, we have discovered many possibilities because we started with something and then we found out, oh, we can do with this with Knime. So previously we were using like Python scripts, beautiful soup for web scraping. Then we realized there are Selenium node extensions to do that. So uh, once you dig deeper, you will find many new things which you can learn with time, I would say. But yeah, 2 to 3 months, I would say, is basic learning curve required to create some decent workflow and make it to a production level,
Great.
as per our understanding.
Yeah, and we got support from the Knime team also during that time. So that's how we could convince our big bosses to adopt Knime.
Yeah.
Great. So I think this is the last question. Somebody asked, is MongoDB required to store sensor data?
It depends
No,
on your requirement. It can be anything like the connectivities are available for MongoDB, MySQL, everything. There is connectivity available. Any kind of database connectivity is there, and there are some third-party drivers available, JDBC drivers available. This can be used. It may be paid, but it can be used to connect to anything. We are actually connecting to MySQL, SQL Server, Tableau
Microsoft
Server,
Exchange as well.
Microsoft Exchange data. Then, yeah, of course, MongoDB, Excel. We are connected to everything. We have even use cases where we connect through Power Automate calling Knime, then Knime calling back Power Automate and doing something. Then Power Automate is picking something from the Adobe API. A lot of integration. It is your imagination. It's not like MongoDB is a must. So if you decide to use just Excel to store your data, you can store that use case. Only require that, you can go ahead with just Excel also, no problems.
Great.
And the best part is that each workflow itself can be called upon like a RESTful API. So integration is seamless with some external tools also you're working, and some workflow you have created in Knime, you can always call it as a RESTful API and it will work.
Great. And actually, we had just one more question come in, which is, what is your strategy for the storage of input, output, and temporary data?
Strategy. Okay, that's a tough one. So for now, as we at the time of starting with Knime, we took on MongoDB itself as a choice of DB. We are still evaluating other options. So that is not that we have finally decided that everything is going to be on MongoDB. But what we do is we have various environments with various databases within MongoDB. So like it is for development, production, experimentation. So whatever comes like in a raw format, we dump it at a development stage. And after that, we process it and we make models out of it. Then we take it to the production level. So we bifurcate as we move along with the journey of the data in our MongoDB environments for now.
Great. Okay, so I think that's all the questions we have today. Thank you guys. Thank all of you, Pranab and Tiju. Thank you for presenting. Really great use case. I think it's very broadly applicable. And Hanan, thank you for joining and answering some of our more technical questions. I hope everybody enjoyed the presentation. And thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sasha, for having us. Thanks.
Yes, sir.
Goodbye.
Thanks.
Have a great
Bye-bye.
And finally, if you guys found any of this interesting, we'd like to stay in touch. There's lots of ways to do that. If you have any questions about some of the kind of commercial use cases, you can always write to us using that Contact Us button on the side of your screen. But you can also go to hub.knime.com, where you can browse thousands of examples of how people use Knime. You can ask questions in the forum. And you can follow us on social media. Thanks, everyone.